Hello all and welcome to the latest Craftmania Sunday Showcase. I'm Jamie and I'm going to be your host today. Now, as many of you may know, I've been on holiday for the last couple of weeks, so this is my first video back with you all, and boy have I missed you. It really is quite a challenge to be away from you for so long. But I'm really glad to say today we have some brand new products to share with you. Now, sadly, because it is my first day back at work, I haven't had as much chance to do as many things with these as I would have liked to. We have 8 new products we're going to share with you today, and quite honestly, the options are relatively endless of what we could be doing with them. They really are beautiful, but sadly I haven't been able to show you quite as much as I would have liked. Equally, we don't have an essentials pack for you this week. Now, I know they have a bit of a cult following, so I do apologise for that, but fingers crossed we'll have one back for you for next week. But this week it gives you the opportunity to stock up on all the new goodies we'll be showing you instead. So with no further ado, let's take you through our 8 products, and then I've got a few cards I'm going to share with you today and hopefully give you a couple of ideas on how you could be using these. Now, if you're new to our videos, you may not know this, but every week we have a new product, and on them products we give you a discount. So this week you're going to be able to save 20% off of these items. So if we take you to item number 1 to begin with, we're going to be looking at a new die. Now, this one is one of our creator card dies. They're approximately 13.5cm squares, roughly. They're a great size to work with, great for square cards, obviously, really good for inserts as well. And this one is your floral frame die. Now, if you haven't been shopping with us before on our Sunday showcases, you may not know about this, but we code all of our items. So the first one you're looking at here is code die1. Now, if you wish to order via Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, over the phone to one of our stores, or via text message, if you could please use that code, we'll know the item that you're on about. If you're ordering via our website, then you don't have to worry about the codes. Everything is pictured individually under our Sunday Showcase tab, which you'll find on the top of our website page. So just click on that and it'll take you through to all of these. No codes needed. And of course, you may not know this, but we ship worldwide as well. And we'll be talking more about that later on in today's video. But if you do wish to jump ahead, you can have a look at the frequently asked questions page on our website and it will tell you more about that. So back to them. So that was your first one. That was die number 1, your floral frame. It should be £11.49p, but with your 20% off this week, it's only £9.19p. Moving on to your next item. This one is code die2. This is your floral frame. Now, I love this one. I just think it's so delicate. And it's quite nice because we can actually shape up around the edges with this one as well. And that circle in the middle just lends itself for so many items to be popped in there if you wish to. So this is die number 2, floral circle. It should be £10.99p, but with your 20% off, it's only £8.79. Moving on to die number 3. Now this one's another one of them really beautiful square frames. This one is labelled as ice frame and it's die number 3 as your code. Again, with this one, it should be £11.49p, but it is reduced to just £9.19. On to die number 4. Now this one is your border swirl. It's so pretty. Although they've labelled it as a border, it's just one of them really nice swirls that you could be putting into a little flourish of poinsettias, or making up into bigger frames, or using as corners maybe. There really is a lot of options we could use this one for because it's just so delicate. This one is die number 4. It should be £7.29, but with your 20% off, it is only £5.83p. Now, if you're looking at the border one and you're feeling, well, actually, I'd really like a corner one, they've done that too. So code die number 5 is your corner swirl. Now, this one should be £7.69p, but it is only £6.15. Now, again, this one's a really good corner, so of course we can put it in all 4 corners of an element. You can also use it quite nicely on the sort of fold down flap of an envelope because it isn't too pointy. And of course, you could make it up into borders as well if you wanted to. So lots of options for that one. It might be a slightly smaller die, but it's certainly very cute and very nicely delicate when you actually cut it out. Moving on to our last die I'm going to introduce you to this week. This is set number, or die number 6. It's our snowflake set. You get 4 dies in this set. And one of the bits I quite like is 2 of them actually look a bit more like flowers, because this is a bit of a florally wintry set. So they really do actually match up to make quite nice flowers. You could use them a bit more all year as well if you wanted to. Then you've got 2 really nice snowflakes that go with these as well. In this set, you're getting all 4 dies for just £7.29p. But of course, you've got your 20% off this week, so it's only £5.83. Now, one of the things I also wanted to show you, and this isn't a new idea, by far it's not a new idea, but not all dies I find lend themselves for this so easily. This is actually the cutout from your large snowflake in this set. And I think that's really pretty on its own. I could actually see this being cut into the front of my cards just as a decoration and actually using the negative instead of the positive from it. But equally, there's nothing stopping you stenciling through them. So if you wanted to, you could make up some really nice backgrounds just by stenciling through your offcuts. So this is actually one I've done. I've just used some distress inks to go through mine, but it could really be built up into much more than what I've done with just a little square. As I say, you could really make up some really posh background sheets with them using all different shades of blue maybe. So when we are looking at these dies, you don't just need to look at the bit it's going to cut out. Sometimes the waste can be just as exciting. So that is die set number 6, your snowflakes. As I say, it should be £7.29, but with your 20% off, it's only £5.83 for that set of 4. Now, to go with all of these wonderful dies, we need some stamps, don't we? Because especially with the frame ones, we need something to pop in the middle of them. So we've thought of that for you as well. We have 2 new sets of stamps. We have stamp number 7, which is called Let It Snow, obviously, because we have a little Let It Snow tucked away in here too. There's also It's Cold Outside and Warm Wishes. And there's also some nice layering flowers, giving you the sort of background and the foreground with those ones. And same with a poinsettia down here. And then we've got lots of trees, including what I think is very cute, a really nice little tree stump as well. And then sort of a snowdrift across the bottom to build up your scene with. So I think these are really good stamps. Now, I will be honest with you, it's very hard to just pick one set. I think you may need both of these because they do go together really well. That is, of course, stamp set number 7. These should be, by the way, £5.99, but with your 20% off, they're just £4.79 a set. And then stamp number 8 gives you lots more trees. And then you've got little Rudolphs and reindeers to pop onto your little scene as well and hide in between your trees if you wish to. You also get some quite nice snowflakes. So again, if you do want to stamp some snowflake backgrounds, that would be a really nice idea. And you've got some more of them layering stamps as well if you do wish to stamp elements in different colours and build up sort of images. And then we've also got some text in this one. We've got Winter and Winter Wonderland, which is why we're referring to this set as Winter Wonderland. So that one is stamp number 8. And again, it should be £5.99, but with your 20% off, it's only £4.79. Now, I know you're going to be hard pushed because this is such a lovely collection. And when you get to see some of the things you can build with this lot, I think you're really going to want to go for the whole bundle. So because of that, we have actually bought you a bundle offer. And you are saving quite a lot this week. Not only do you get your 20% off, you're also saving about an extra £5 on this if you do want to go for your mega bundle. So that will give you all 6 of your stamps, all 6 of your dies, and both sets of stamps. It should be £68.22, but you can buy the whole bundle for just £50. So that will literally give you all 6 sets of the dies I've just shown you and both sets of your stamps for just £50. Now, of course, you can have all of these items held in store for you to collect if you wish to. You can just post in the comments on, as I said earlier, on our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram or Twitter, and let us know the numbers of the items you would like and the store you wish to collect from, and we can hold them up until 5 PM on next Saturday, and that's of course when our offer ends and these will go back up to full price, so make sure you get them by then. Or, of course, you can order them on our website. Now, the good bit is, especially with a mega bundle, is if you do go for the whole set, you're going to be over our P&P charges. So you're going to get free P&P. Anytime you spend over £35 on our website, it qualifies your order for free P&P, so that will certainly be over that threshold. If you do spend below £35, if you do just want to cherry pick the odd dies, not a problem. We just have a flat rate of postage for just £2.75. Those are both our terms for our UK shipments. But if you do wish to shop with us abroad, that's not a problem. As I mentioned at the beginning of today's video, just check out the frequently asked questions page on our website and it will tell you how our international shipping works. It's one of them things we try to keep as cheap as we possibly can for you and get it to you as quick as we can. So do have a little read of that and it will tell you more details about them. Before we move on and I show you lots of the things I've made with these, I also want to show you one of the new products that we've had come in store. This is our new card. Now, many of you may remember for the last year or so, we've had some packs of card that was sadly discontinued by our company, but we've managed to source a brand new version of it, and it's actually the same price for the 50 sheets. So in here, you'll get a matte white cardstock. It's 300 GSM, which is great because it means we can build boxes out of it, your card blanks out of it if you want to, but it's not too thick, so we can still die cut it as well if we wish to. You get 50 sheets for just £5. So again, this will be in the Sunday Showcase section of the website. It's one of the, well actually the only cardstock I've been doing all of my die cutting out of today. It's also really good for stamping on, so you're going to get to see where I've stamped on it, and you can also blend on it really easily. So I've been playing a lot today with the Eyes Ink inks and the Tim Holtz Distress inks, and both of them blend really seamlessly on that cardstock too. So that might be something you want to consider getting if you're a little bit low on cardstock. So let's show you some of the things I've made with these dies, shall we? So this one I actually took a bit of inspiration off of a project on Pinterest where they'd made sort of a 3-panel hanger, and I decided that I wanted to have a bit of a play about with that. So this is actually using a frame die. Now that's of course die number 3, which is your ice frame around the outside of each one of my panels. And then in the middles here, I've used acetate and I've heat embossed in white all different scenes using the different sets of stamps. Now I have used both sets of stamps on this, so if you do like the look of this, you are going to need stamp set 7 and stamp set 8. And as I said earlier, they really do integrate together perfectly. For instance, we've got the reindeer here out of stamp set 8, but you've got the snowy sort of drift as such from stamp set 7, and then again on here we've actually alternated the trees from the different sets as well, and we've added in another reindeer up here from the other set as well. Now also on this one, you may not notice them too well, but hidden behind here are the big border dies and corner dies. So you've got the border die, which of course is die number 4, should be 729, reduced to just 583 on this part here. And then tucked away in this corner and this one, we have of course the corner swirl, which should be 769, but is only £6.15. Now I've stamped all mine on acetate. I've heated embossed them using white embossing powder. If you haven't got heat resistant acetate, it's one of them things I really urge you to get. And of course this is such a lovely set for making sort of layered images as well on acetate, and you're going to get to see that on my next project I'm going to show you, whereby we can actually stack them to create more of a deep scene. So let me show you that one. Oh, we've got a bit of hanging off ribbon here, so we'll just reattach that. Been very behind time today, so don't look too closely. There's a few bodgy bits going on today. So this is the one I was on about with the different scenes. Now hopefully you're getting to pick up on this relatively well on screen, but we actually have 3 levels of acetate on 3 different aperture panels, meaning that we can build together to make quite a nice scene. So for instance, that's your first one, which of course you can see we've got the reindeers and the trees and the snowdrift. We've also used the little Let It Snow out of the Let It Snow stamp set 7. And then if we turn over the page, you can see our next set of trees and our snowdrifts. And then if we turn to the very back page, you can see again some more of them. But I really like the way, when I actually made the first project I show you, I'd layered it all together like this before I actually constructed them as the 3 hanging panels. And I really liked the way that you actually built up a scene and had that depth go through with all the different trees and reindeers and snow. So it's quite a simple card, but one you could certainly build on a bit more, and you could certainly introduce colours as well, especially if you wanted to stamp with stay-ons maybe instead of heat embossing. But even with heat embossing, you could certainly do all your trees in different colours and add in some glitter if you wanted to. It really is an idea that you could build up a lot more if you want to. Moving on to our third card. Now on this one, we have a really cute little teddy bear decoupage sheet in the middle, and I've actually used him on 2 of my cards. You're going to get to see him on the last card I'm going to show you, but I had, on the last card, I only used the stepper bits to go on top. So I wanted to come up with a use to use the first image, the one that actually you normally design to build on top of. So instead I've cut him out with a pair of scissors, and I've sunk him into the middle of die number 2, which of course is our floral circle, should be £10.99, but is reduced to just £8.79. On here as well, we have the little warm wishes stamp from stamp set number 7, the Let It Snow stamp. And I really like the way that one's actually like a negative stamp. So instead of stamping the words in a colour, you stamp the block around it. So I've stamped it in red, leaving the white from the card coming through, and then just cut round it and layered it. Then in the background here, this is our really lovely border swirl. Now, as I said to you earlier, there's nothing that's stopping you building that up into frames. So I've used 4 of them and just stuck them coming out underneath my layer here. Now, of course, your border swirl should be £7.29, but it's reduced to just £5.83. So that's not too bad, is it? Nice little colourway going on there. I really like the grey and the red together, taking inspiration obviously from my little picture sheet in there. I thought that one come out okay, quite simple, but sometimes when we're doing Christmas cards, we don't need them to be overly complicated, do we? And then on to this one. So on to project number 4. Now, I did something a bit different on this one that I personally hadn't done before. And I don't think I've stole this idea, but I probably have from somewhere. I'm sure greater minds than me have come up with it previously. But I wanted to give you the idea of an embossing folder in the same set and the same designs, but they don't actually do one. So instead I wanted to cheat. So what I've done is I've taken my snowflake dies, which of course is die set number 6. They should be £7.29, but they're only £5.83. I die cut quite a few of them out of the white cardstock we're talking about today, and I've stuck them onto a big square of that white cardstock, and then I've just stress inked over the top of it. Now, of course, because of the height difference between the die and the cardstock, there's lots of areas where the ink can't get into, so you end up with that white shadow effect, a bit like you've used an embossing folder. So I distressed over it using a light blue. I then took a dark blue ink pad and actually rubbed it over the top of the die cuts instead. And because I'd stuck them relatively close together, there weren't gaps big enough for the ink to seep through them into the areas I didn't want it to be on. And I thought that made up quite a nice, interesting background. So if you haven't got a big 8x8 embossing folder, or you can't simply get one in the design you want, that might be an idea that you could give a go if you haven't already. I might be being a bit slow, this often is the case, but I did quite like playing about with that, and I thought that didn't turn out too bad. In the middle here we have got our frame. Now, of course, this is our ice frame, which should be £11.49, but is only £9.19. That, of course, is die number 3. I just think that's beautiful. And again, this is quite a good one. Now, you're not allowed to notice my smudge here because it was too late and I weren't going back, so ignore the smudge. But it would be quite nice as well if you was to cut that and use it as corners, or you could certainly extend out your frame a bit if you wanted to by adding in something else in the middle there and making it a bit of a bigger frame. So this one might be quite a good value for money one. I also feel, as I said earlier, these would make great insert frames. So many times people say to us, oh, I really want to dress up my inserts. I put all the effort into doing the outside of the card and then leave the inside really boring. Well, this could be a really nice way to give you quite a lot of detail without having to add in too much height or bulk or too much effort. So that might be a nice way to do that too. Across the bottom here we have lots of the stamps again. We're using both stamp sets again, 7 and 8 for this scene. And I've just stamped them all in Paris Dusk, which is a memento ink. Now, I've hid quite a bit behind my frame, but it really does stack up to make quite a beautiful little set with that. So hopefully it's something you like the look of and could certainly do in any colourway if you wanted to match up with whatever you wish to. I regret, to be honest, as I said earlier, I haven't had a lot of time today, but I really would like to have done a black and white sort of monochrome Christmas card using them stamps, because I think the way they're so silhouette-y, you could really end up with some lovely effects from them too. And then across the top here, last die on my card today is the large border swirl, which of course is die number 4, should be £7.29, but it's only £5.83. I've actually used 2 of these to come across the top of my card, but I wanted to show you how you could use that border as quite a nice edgeable style die as well, and actually pop that coming out the side of your card if you wanted to. So that completes all of this one. Oh, by the way, we can't not mention these. If you're wondering where the verse come from, they was on our last video before I went away. So I know a lot of you have already seen that video. I think we're up to about 500 views on that one. But this is one of the verses that was on that video, and we do still have them in stock currently. So if you haven't yet seen that video, do pop back and have a look. Obviously, the offer has ended because the offers are only valid for 1 week and 1 week only. But there are quite a few different verses, Christmas and everyday birthday verses that was on that video, along with lots of other stamps, and I do think the majority of them are still in stock. We did manage to get a few more of them, so you might want to look at that video too. And of course they're all available on the website at the moment as well. On to our next card. So this time I wanted to show you really just how pretty the swirly bits are. So we've got the swirly corner and the swirly border. The swirly corner, of course, is die number 5. The swirly border is number 4. And I just wanted to show you how we could poke them in behind something. Oh, I've got an accident here. I've got a fallen down bit. This is no good, is it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to retrieve this. Oh, I don't know. Let's see. See, the joy of filming these things, eh? Well, we're just going to imagine that's in there, aren't we? So, excuse my collapsed ribbon. This is why I should have glue gunned it, and I didn't, and I cheated, and I did it with tape, and now it's come back to bite me on the bum. So we have our hangy bit in the middle here of our frame, and as you can see, I've used a decoupage sheet to go in the centre. I've added it on top of an oval die cut, and then around here, obviously, as I was saying, we've got these really lovely swirly border bits poking out from the different areas, and then this bit is also just one of the bits off of the matching sheet. Now, if this was hanging normally, this would actually create our little card quite nicely and hang in the centre. Excuse my fat fingers. If you haven't seen these before, we do often talk about these. These are simply made by just taking an ordinary aperture free-fold card, and instead of joining it together, just popping a stopper at the back of it so you can actually create a hanging area. If you do that, make sure you glue your ribbon in properly and don't do it with double-sided tape, because if not, it can be really embarrassing when it falls down and you don't want it to. But we'll come back to that and fix that before you all see it again, hopefully at some point in time. Moving on to our next card. So this one is actually the first card I made for today, and it was my first chance to play with our stamps. So I wanted to show you that although I've done quite a lot of mine in just white embossing powder and bits, you can of course use coloured inks with them as well. So I've actually stamped my trees and my reindeers, obviously using green and brown inks, and then I've used the white embossing powder at the bottom here, and I've tried to fuzz it up a bit so it looks a bit more like snow around that area as well. And I've just distressed the background using different shades of light blues to create sort of a night sky theme. I should have thought about it and added in a moon, but it was a bit too late before I thought about that. But you certainly could if you wanted to, or you could always add one in with a gel pen or some glitter if you wish to, if you don't like inking them. On top here we have our really lovely floral circle frame. Now I really love this one. I'd urge you to get hold of that one because it's just so cute. And as I said at the beginning, it's quite nice because you can sort of bend these floral bits up in the air a bit if you want to give you more of a 3D effect as well. I've padded mine in the middle of frame number 1, or die number 1, our floral frame as well. And it's worth noting with that they actually have little petals that are cut for you in your die that you can actually form upwards. So if you want to give it a bit of a 3D effect, you certainly can, and they're dotted around all of the frame to give you that bit more dimension. It's also worth mentioning, especially with the free frame dies, as in die number 1, 2 and 3, they do have little snowflakes hid in them here and there, but I certainly think if you changed the colours that you were cutting them out of and added little flowers in here and there, little paper flowers maybe, or fabric roses maybe, you could cover these frames up and use them all year. They're quite a general winter frame. Instead of actually having to be all about Christmas, these dies might come in quite good value for things throughout the year as well. And I quite like that because you don't want to spend all of your money on something that can only be used for one purpose. Sometimes it's nice to be able to get more value for money out of them. So okay, stamps again, we've got both sets. We've also spoke about your floral circle and we've spoke about your floral frame. Don't miss the Let It Snow, which of course is in stamp set number 7, which is your Let It Snow one, because I think that's really cute. It's only a little stamp, but sometimes you only need a little sentiment, don't you? It doesn't always have to be massive sentiments. Okay, moving on to our last card today. I warned you this was a short one, I do apologise, but next week hopefully I'll have a few more for you. This is our last card for today, and on this one, we have got that really lovely floral frame die number 1 again. And again, you're getting to see them little petals poked up in the air. And then around the edges, I've added on a few details using the snowflake set, which of course is die number 6. So there's a few of them dotted around. And these ones are the ones I was saying earlier look a lot like flowers. So if you did want to use them all year again, they might be a good one for you to use as well. And then we see the inner bit of our decoupage sheet earlier, didn't we? This is actually showing you the bits that are meant to be layered on top of that. And I've just added a bit of backing paper in behind it. And so it creates the effect of the whole scene, and then just added in my actual decoupage element. And then I've of course popped on the little sentiment that again comes on your sheet. And again, I quite like the red, grey and white effect. It's not really a colour scheme I've worked with much, but I thought that was quite fresh and modern. And again, very quick. Sometimes we need quick Christmas cards, don't we? They don't always have to go on forever. So once again then, let's just take a little run through your products and your offers today. So hopefully, if you've picked a few bits, you can write down your code numbers of the ones you'd like to get hold of. So we're going to start off with a quick run through. We have got code die number 1. That's our floral frame. It should be £11.49, but it's only £9.19. We then have code die number 2, floral circle. Should be £10.99, but it's only £8.79. And then of course we have die number 3, which is our ice frame. Should be £11.49, but it's only £9.19. We then have die number 4, which is your border swirl, should be £7.29, but is reduced to just £5.83p. You then have die number 5, which is your corner swirl, should be £7.69, but with your 20% off is only £6.15p. On for our last die, die number 6, this is your snowflake set, it should be £7.29, but is only £5.83. Then of course we can't go forgetting the stamps. We have stamp number 7, Let It Snow, should be £5.99, but with your 20% off is £4.79. And then we have stamp number 8, which is your Winter Wonderland, should be £5.99, but is only £4.79. As I said earlier, if you can't pick between them, why not go for all of them? You can buy the mega bundle for just £50. The mega bundle should cost you £68.22p if you was to buy them at their recommended retail prices individually. So again, a bigger saving than if you buy them individually with your 20% off as well. So certainly a good time to get hold of a mega bundle. Again, don't forget your cardstock. This is, as I said, all of the cards that you've seen me use today. All of my die cut, stamping, blending have all been done on this white cardstock. And again, you're going to get 50 sheets in here for just £5. And then lastly, before I let you go, I want to remind you of our mystery bags. It is that time of month again. These come out on Monday the 1st of October. If you haven't seen these before, basically we take a theme. So this month's theme is travel, heritage and more. And in here you receive £20 and 45p's worth of goodies for just £10. Now this month I haven't actually had anything to do with these, so it's going to be a bit of a mystery to me too what you get in here. But according to our little write-up, you're going to get 12 by 12 papers, clear stamps, die-cut decoupage, DIY decoupage, ribbons, stickers and more. So that's certainly going to be worth more than £10. And I know a lot of you have had these previously and really ranted and raved over them. If you have already subscribed to have them sent to you, they will already be in the post and on their way to you. So don't panic, they will be with you shortly. If you haven't yet and you wish to, then you can of course give us a ring to arrange that, and we can literally release them to you on the 1st of every month, so you never miss out on one. If you wish to have them held in store to be collected from the 1st of every month, again, talk to us in store or give us a call and we can sort that out for you as well. But if you do just want to order the one-off, that's not a problem. Again, they will be in the Sunday Showcase section of our website, and they also have their own tab under mystery bags, which you can order them from as well online if you wish to. And again, that's something that I think you're really going to enjoy, because we do pack them full of goodies and hopefully a few different bits that you might not have seen in store before as well. And value for money, they really are a pleasure. You're going to love them. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have and you're watching us via YouTube and you are a member of YouTube, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. I believe we're just about to hit 1,150 subscribers, which is an incredible achievement. And for those of you that watch us every week, it only feels like 5 minutes ago we were celebrating 1,000. So thank you so much for all of you who subscribe to us. If you enjoy the look of the cards and you want to look at them more, then they will all be on our Pinterest page. So you can pop on there and pin them and come back to them at a later date. Thank you so much for watching. It's lovely to be back. It's lovely to be back with you lot. And hopefully I'll see some of you throughout the week. And I'll certainly be back next Sunday with our next new Sunday Showcase. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.